And since we are going into the final act, final starts with F, and so does the number 4. So to get rid of the last amount of the hints, they're going to be 4 at a time. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Prototype. Well, this place is certainly better than it was a little while ago, especially when this place was entirely infected before. The exact building is actually where that impenetrable hive was that couldn't be destroyed without a thermobaric tank. I wonder what renovator they got for the military base, because he certainly is able to flip that hardcore. I wonder how much he got paid. All kidding aside, I don't know why this place is now the military base. Technically, it shouldn't be because... honestly, because of a lot of logical reasons. But you know, some inconsistencies, apparently, they just avoid. But the military have definitely been picking up the pace in the northern part of the city, not the southern part, that's still pretty much the same. But they're making some headway, I guess. And we are heading to another contact location, which is actually different from the map. Because it was supposed to be on the right side of Central Park that the second one was, but apparently it isn't. And there's one last upgrade that we have to get out of the old set before... maybe we'll get some new ones. And that is the Spike Driver. The Spike Driver is pretty much the finisher to the uppercut launch, air combo, and then it goes Spike Driver to put him down to the ground. So now we have a full stylish melee combo.
The boys are saying negative here, sir. No kill, no sight.
Now, even though we do have this combo, it's not necessarily handy. But it's kind of cool to use. Now, of course, I want to use this on a civilian. Unfortunately, though, I can't manually target them, and you have to kind of target a guy in order to use the uppercut. But this military guy's here, so let's use it. And Spike Driver. Puts him right down to the ground. Unfortunately, he ragdollizes too quickly. And then you're not able to pick him up. So even if I was using this during the Sequence 8 video, I probably wouldn't be fast enough in order to pick up his body, because there's not a good window for it. Now, quick recap of what has been going on. Elizabeth Green is now no longer an issue. We consumed her last video, after she apparently was in a giant meat thing. We'll have to check out Times Square eventually to see what's going on there, but it probably still has that giant hole. But now what do we do? Apparently what we have to do is find Randall and other people in order to figure out what's going on, and maybe our contact will be able to help us with that. So, Mr. Man behind the phone, what is our next direction?
McMullen's gone to ground. You've come too close too many times. But you have an advantage Blackwatch doesn't know about. You're growing immunity to blood tox. I think the key to McMullen is this. Attack the blood tox facility head on and let them think they have you. When they think they're in control, they'll bring you to McMullen.
How do you know all this? I need a better idea of what I'm up against.
Short cutscene, but a lot has just been said. So let's take it piece by piece. We're apparently getting more immunity to blood tox, which is generally how a virus works. If it's not taken out completely, whatever's left is going to be getting a higher immunity, so you'll have to find a different way in order to take it down. The thing is, Blackwatch may not have known about it, but we certainly didn't know about it. That was only apparently according to the contact. It's that kind of character that kind of bugs me when I'm dealing with any sort of media, whether it be books, shows, or games, is that there's usually a character who just decides, hey, I know everything and I have exactly the answers for you, but I'm not going to necessarily tell you or take any action myself in order to propel the plot any faster. Second, McMullen still exists. We haven't heard a lot about him ever since we were trying to tackle him and try to find him with Dana. But apparently he has a strategy for that too. Third, blood tox. We got our wonderful cotton candy factory over here, pooping up pink smoke. I kind of just wanted to get rid of this UAV for some reason or another. Except that made these helicopters go ahead and try to find me. So I'll probably have to deal with them eventually. But yeah, apparently this is all to get McMullen, get us to McMullen, because we can't make McMullen come to us. This mission is pretty much just to finish off the blood tox arc, I guess, because the blood tox is actually fulfilled its purpose. We have no more use for it.
Lost contact, over.
But this place looks incredibly intimidating.
Decodes, armor, gun emplacements. Great. This place needs to come apart piece by piece.
It definitely does. And to be honest, this mission is actually rather enjoyable. A lot of people that I know or who have known for playing this game before in the past rather like this mission a lot, and I agree with them, because there's a lot you can actually do. There's a lot of variety and a lot of strategies and entrances that you can do. And actually thermal vision is particularly handy, because it's able to get rid of the blood tox fumes. There are these air pumpers everywhere, and in all honesty, I like taking them down first, just so I'm not dealing with a huge area where my health is decreasing. And the best way of doing this is by using the Whip Fist. It's your longest range ability, minus getting a weapon, but of course it can just be botched by helicopters. And ultimately what we're doing is destroying this facility entirely by getting rid of the filters. Blood Tox doesn't really have much of a point in the plot anymore ever since we got rid of Elizabeth Green, and also making sure that the infection was not underground anymore. Presumably, whatever infection was underground is no longer there anymore, either because we killed it or because we lured it back up in order to be able to actually fight it properly. These jerks. Luckily the strike team hasn't seen me yet, so this'll be an easy evasion. Anyway, time to get to the task at hand. You can do this pretty much any way you want. You can go in guns blazing, you can take a tank in there and just try to explode things as much as possible, or you can take it piece by piece, the way that Alex said. The first piece I like doing, taking away, is of course the blood tox fumes, because that'll make roaming around the facility easier. So once you've gotten rid of the pumpers, the facility should look something more like this. It's a lot nicer without the cotton candy color pink smoke everywhere. Also during this time, I decided to take care of all the tanks around the perimeter, just by going in them and getting out of them. So that means we don't have to deal with much tank fire. Now honestly, this took a while, so I always like doing a long shot grab and just taking care of one of the guards, because then they, well, don't do anything. One thing I tried to do with this mission, but it didn't really work, is patsying. Haven't really shown it off a lot, but luckily I'll be able to show it off in its own special way. And thanks guys for showing up in order to kill that guy off. Because kind of the one disadvantage of patsying is that you can't do it with super soldiers. And speaking of super soldiers, they're also around the Blood Tox facility as well. There are a total of 4 of them lurking around the facility, guarding filters and also the pumpers. I've already killed 2 off-screen, so these are the other 2, and I just like taking care of them with one of the tanks that are going around. You can also get them in this infinite loop of calling for a strike package, but then just keep hitting them. It's kind of silly. Alright, no more super soldiers to deal with, so that actually makes this place a lot easier to deal with. The only thing we really have to deal with is foot troopers and the occasional helicopter. So let's make our way inside.
Lost contact, over. I feel folks. It's all fly. Contact lost. Stay on high alert, over.
Unfortunately, some super soldiers just can't stay down, because once you take down super soldiers, this transport helicopter will show up and drop down 2 more. In order to actually get rid of these reinforcements from showing up, just simply hijack this helicopter, actually, I found. Because another one doesn't show up once it's destroyed, and the facility actively goes out of its way in order to take this thing down, so you can't even use it! So there's 2 other super soldiers that I unfortunately have to deal with before things are going to be a little bit easier. I want to get in this tank so I'm able to deal with these guys easier.
Primary strike package dispatched. Clear the zone, over.
Another fun thing about hijacking the helicopter is that you can do it before the helicopter touches down, so the super soldiers are still on top of it. However, because of the positions that the super soldiers are in, you're actually not able to properly hijack the helicopter, which is kind of funny. Except for the fact that one of the super soldiers dropped off and disappeared, so I was able to hijack it and, well, kill the other super soldier at least. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to use the helicopter. It's a different helicopter, I wanted to use it. Anyway, back to the action. Taking down helicopters with a tank is kind of an annoying thing, but in terms of the craziness that can happen around the facility, you need as much armor as you can get, and tanks are kind of the best. You could argue that getting into a helicopter is also good, but the problem with being in a helicopter is that homing missiles will try and take you down, and they're easy in order for getting taken down. So tanks are your best bet, or in terms of weaponry. I really want to get rid of these super soldiers really quickly. And taking them down just on foot, never really a good idea. There's too many things that can go wrong. So there's a lot of layers that you can take down piece by piece. Blood Tox pumpers, the machine guns that are actually on top of the barricade walls. Those are also annoying. Then there's also the tanks and the super soldiers. So eventually you're just left with foot troops, which are rather easy to deal with. Now there's one other reason why people like this mission, and I think it's actually been taken out. And that is shooting them from distance. You can see here and also here that even though I fire something at the ground inside the military base, the guys don't notice and take alert. However, once I get really close or fire it directly on, then everybody goes on full alert and everybody freaks out. This even happens once you take down... Alerts even happen once you take down every single military guy in the area, and they don't respawn anymore. So, you just get, like, once you fire against one of the filters, you'll automatically be on alert, but that alert will just go away instantly. Now, although this mission you're able to do in multiple ways, the game technically doesn't like that in terms of the cutscene following this mission. It does expect you, in terms of the game's consistency, to do some sort of chaotic move against this facility, because it kind of follows the tone of the next cutscene. So if you're kind of like me and like having a story in terms of game style to be kind of balanced and consistent, then you'll be doing something like this where you're taking a tank in with you and just going in guns blazing somewhat. Otherwise, you can try other things, other methods, which eventually lead to different results, including this result. This is one result that can occur when absolutely no military show up anymore, and you're able to just freely roam the facility. You're even able to destroy the tanks of blood tox material, and those make just giant dark red puffs of smoke appear. But it certainly sets a different tone and is inconsistent with the next cutscene, so depending on when you want to do this, it depends on you. Also, it takes too long in order to get this result. And here is the alert kind of status I was talking about earlier.
Now is my chance to go down.
I have visual on primary. Target the tank! He's neutralized. You know the drill. I want this in the storage unit 10 minutes ago. Bring in the bird. We're moving this to the director. Now!
Hi, boss. That is a foolish thing to do. You know who I am, and you know what I do.
You were always so smart. You were ready to give up all our secrets.
So you infected me.
No. Are you insane? But you always were a lateral thinker. Plans within plans.
Put down the file and back away.
Alex Mercer died. He died threatening to release the most deadly virus in history on the people of New York. You died in Penn Station, but the virus found its way into your bloodstream. And here you are, filling in the blanks. We were trying to figure it out. You just wanted to bring it all down. But this isn't what you came here for, is it? You want to know what happened at Hope, Idaho. You want the truth. I know the secret.
Listen, there's nothing else you can do to hurt me.
Well, that was a turn for kind of the worse, in terms of information anyways. If you were thinking that we were going to be able to consume McMullen upon meeting him, sadly, you thought wrong. We did get some information though, just not as much as we thought we were going to get. And most of the information that we got was really confirmation on what the contact said earlier. Alex Mercer is dead. So we are technically the virus that he unleashed out of that vial in Penn Station. How does that necessarily work? Kind of a twist of fate, really. Sometimes you just can't explain science. He was also kind of going about it a non-violent way. The only reason why the guys were really going after Alex is because he was going in a violent direction. McMullen is a scientist primarily, so he was going in a non-violent direction, trying to get as much information as possible to be used against him at a later date. Alex was not really interested. But what does this mean for us? Well, I'll see you next time, everyone, as we continue on, even without McMullen. Apparently you can dive roll with shield as well in order to take down guys. And sometimes throwing a car makes amazing things happen, like headstands. That is really incredible. Let's see what else we can do. Okay. He wasn't going to hurry up, so I might as well have just made him do some stretches, I guess. Look at all these people, so many people to victimize, it's amazing. Everybody freaks out. You all know me. Maybe. Kind of. Oh, well, you are definitely sick. You're not used to this kind of thing. Lady? What are you doing? What is with your neck position?
Get out of my way.
Well, straighten up your neck then. Huh? Would you do that for me? Oh. No, apparently you're not going to. Yeah, you have a lazy neck. You realize that? No wonder you keep possibly running into things. You never look forward, as your eyes are more terrorized than anything else in your body movement.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe she'll eventually... Oh wait, nope, there's two of you now. Do you both suffer from the same afflictions, ma'am? Apparently so. And don't even ask me how this happened. It was really sad that I didn't get this on camera because the cause of this was very magical. And it involved tanks really not supposed to be getting that close to each other.
Tox perimeter is compromised. We now have multiple openings. Be aware. Updates on your VF interface. Red Crown to strike.